be recording this class. So here we go. So for the very first thing, this is going to be a class about DocuSign. DocuSign 101, basically getting started with DocuSign. What is DocuSign? DocuSign is a place to get your forms and your GAR forms and to send things off to your clients for signatures. If you have not already done this, you will come up underneath your name. If you're not logged into Command, first of all, it's agent.kw.com. We'll bring you into a home screen. Do not be alarmed if yours does not look like mine. That's going to be okay. If you already have DocuSign connected, let's just double check and make sure you're connected first. So up underneath your name, you'll click and go down to Settings. Once you have clicked on Settings, if DocuSign is not close to the top here, you may not already have it connected, and you will want to connect it. Now that is a step-by-step process that you will need to do. It's going to send you an authorization email. You will need to go through all of those proper steps. So if yours does not say disconnect over here and it says connect, you will have to go through that process. I have several YouTube videos. If you go out to YouTube and go to Kathy Bullock, you can look everything up by DocuSign. It's about 6 videos getting started with DocuSign. So to access DocuSign through Command, we're going to go to the Opportunity applet. If you don't know what these applets represent, the pictures, all you have to do is click the red KW and it brings the names out to the side. And we're going to go to Opportunities. Now for a time factor, I have already gone out and connected or created an opportunity. And you, of course, to create an opportunity, you must have a contact in there first. And then we can go to the opportunity that I have created. Sometimes remembering where I put the opportunity is the biggest challenge. Okay, so here is my opportunity. It's good old Mickey Mouse. I'm going to go into this, and to get to your documents, you're actually going to come across the top here to Documents. Now, this is going to be an opportunity that has never been into before, and I do not have any files in here, yet I want to bring them in from DocuSign. So you'll see a button up here on the right top that says Start a Transaction. And when you click that, it's going to give you the choice to either go with DocuSign or with .loop. We're going to go with DocuSign. Now, this is going to require you to sign in every single time. Okay, I've been in here already today, so it didn't require me to sign in. Yet, if you have not been into DocuSign each day, the first time you go in, it is going to ask you for your email, which is typically going to be your KW email, and your password. Okay, so knowing that for DocuSign is very important. When you come into DocuSign, it automatically brings you into the Documents room. Now, I suggest first that you make sure you have everything connected with DocuSign. And how to do that is you can actually come out underneath your picture up here, click on your picture, and you can go to Manage Profile. I always have to remember where to go for this. And my internet is running slow. Love this. Okay, so you can also, once we go in to add documents, if it brings up a screen and wants your NERDS number, you'll know that you'll need to put your NERDS number in there. So we'll have to go back. With internet running as slow, I didn't want to keep you guys waiting. So I suggest always that you come in when you're in your room. You always come into a room, come over to the details page, and you'll see a couple different things here. What this has done, it has brought my client over from my opportunities. It's brought their phone number and their email. in my contact card for this client, I did not have an address. If I would have, it would have brought that over. The biggest things to do is to make sure you check that it has the information and that it brought over the correct information. I also like to scan down and make sure that it's grabbed my information. Okay, if you ever need to change anything on any of this page, up in the right-hand corner, there is an edit button. When you click edit, you have capabilities to go into everything here. Now, a lot of times I will like to come in here and add an address, just because it's a little bit less typing that I have to do within my forms, okay? If you forget to do this, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit more that you actually do within the forms, okay? Also, DocuSign has set most everybody up with all of their information. So you'll have your name, your office number, got this changed to Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners. It does have your address, although they failed to put in our city. So I suggest you go through, put in the city, your state, and your zip code. That just makes one less step again over there in your forms. Now, if you want to put in the buyer's information, you can. If you want to put in the buyer's agent, you can also do that, okay? If you want them to be a part of this transaction that you can actually include within this room. I suggest that you do it this way versus inviting people, which is over here. And I get the question, why would I not just go in and invite people into this room? You can also do it that way, although the minute that you invite somebody into a room, it sends them an email, but it doesn't have a document attached. So it's actually an additional step that they have to go then accept this room invitation, and it may start to confuse some of your clients. That's the main reason I say add them this way, and I'm going to show you how to actually send documents, okay? So we've completed our details page. Now we're going to come over to documents because we are literally ready to start bringing in some forms. And to do that, I'm going to come up to this add button right up here in the right-hand corner and click add. Now there's a couple different choices on mine. You may not have all of these choices, although you do have your computer, so you can bring PDF files into your rooms if you want to by clicking here. But for this, we actually want to go to the DocuSign forms. And I'm going to click on DocuSign forms. Now, a minute ago, we said if you have not gone through these steps and done any of this, it's going to actually bring up a box that looks like this, but it's going to ask you for your NERDS number. You're going to put your NERDS number in there. You're going to search for the Georgia Association of Realtors. Click on that, and it's literally instantaneous that you will then have this box, okay? You are never going to change the library. You're just going to always stay in the DocuSign Forms library. And then in the Select Library, you're going to drop that box down, and you have a couple different choices here. First of all, to get all of your GAR forms, you'll go to the GAR section, and it's literally going to plunk in all of your forms that you have access to. It does have a little forms finder here, so if you're looking for a purchase and sale, you can type the word in purchase. It is going to put everything pretty much in alphabetical order, so coming down, you have to scroll down a little bit, and we're going to look for purchase and sale. Maybe I also know that I need to have a conventional loan, so I'm going to grab that. I can also look maybe for lead-based paint exhibits, and I can click in those. So I've kind of, what I'm doing is I'm adding them all at one time. I do not have to add them single form by single form. And now they're going to come popping into my room. And here they are. Now, a couple different things about this here. If you lose, maybe you get so many documents in here and you can't find them and things get crazy, you can do a couple different things. You can search for it here. You can sort your files, either Z to A or A to Z, oldest or newest, or you can sort them by the owner also. I haven't found this one to be much use, but if you're on a team and you're using one DocuSign, that could actually maybe be useful. I have found that adding the newest when you're in and out of here a lot is very helpful. You can also show all documents or just active documents, because if you start going through and archiving documents, then you don't see it anymore. Okay, so I usually keep it on all documents and use this search. One thing to remember, and this is really important, the minute that you have brought your form into this room, you can never go and search for it again within this room. Okay, so this is a live form and it will consistently stay a live form. When you send it for signatures, it will come back in as a different file. So this live form is always here. So if for some reason you need another purchase and sale within this one room, you have to go back and edit this one, okay? Okay, so now we're going to right click on any of these documents and you can see exactly what you can do in every document. You can rename, edit, split, move, copy, email, fax, DocuSign, or archive. One thing that I sometimes like to do, because I'm a little anal, I will rename a form and give it a number. So to me, this would be number 2, and I can hit save. And then I can come over to my purchase and sale. And why am I doing this? Because I'm crazy pretty much. And so I like my forms to, oh, and I didn't do anything. I didn't give it a number sign. Sorry, you have to give it a number sign. I always forget that. Or not. Maybe it just wants to be itself today. It can be itself. Fine. There we go. Okay, so these are kind of now in order how I like them. Now I'm going to go into my purchase and sale, and we're going to see the information that actually was brought over from when we were in our main, in the details page. So you can see that it actually brought the address over. I will have to do the date here. I will have to come down and fill out everything else. The biggest question that I get is, oh, this didn't pull the address from the MLS. At this time, no, it is not live with our MLS. So sorry to be a Debbie Downer. That is, we think, on the horizon, although no promises coming from Kathy Bullock. Anyways, you can see that it is filling in who the agent is and who the brokerage is. When I scroll down, scrolling, you will see that it did capture my client and their email. It did capture my broker, my name, my email, none of my phone numbers. It did get the broker's phone number, and not my office, any of my office information. And actually in the details page, there's nowhere to fill this out. So you do have to fill this out each time. The great thing about anytime you fill this out, so if I were to put this in here, and let me come here, because I'm filling this out on this form, when I go to the next forms, it's actually going to move that forward. So in a sense, it is actually auto-filling it from the first form that you fill out. Okay, so now I've completed this form. I've done everything I need to do. I'm going to actually hit save and close. This other actions you will really never go to. It's more about, you can view the history of a form, the certificate, electronic record and signature disclosure, which you can get in another place, and I'll show you, and then session information. I'm going to hit save and close. I'm going to hit save and close. Okay, so we now have gone through all of our forms. Let me actually just open this one up because I want to show you that it's auto-filled the other information over that I gave it. And it didn't. It's always nice. Usually it comes in because if I typed in the membership here. So just made me a liar. So save and close on this one. You would have to fill that one out, I guess. There's certain things that it's willing to bring over and certain things that it doesn't. So it must not recognize how the membership is coming in. So we have done everything here. We've filled everything out that we need. I'm now going to click on the corners of every form. So this is now completed forms. I'm ready to send these for DocuSign. And now I can do it a couple different ways. I can either make copies of these, I can move these, which this is very finical. If you want to move it into another room, typically you will not have permissions to move it into another room. So be really careful with how you're wanting to move files around. You can email these files directly. You can combine these files, and we'll talk more about these being combined in just a minute, because most of the time they do have to be signed to be able to combine them. Now, why would you ever combine them? I like to combine them if I'm going to send it for an offer. So all of the things will come back in signed. I like to put those all into one file, and then you have one file you can send. You have a download button, archive button, and an unarchive. Okay, so for this, I'm going to actually click on the DocuSign. Now, when you go to DocuSign, it actually is building an envelope for you. So I like to think of this kind of snail mail. You're going to put all of your files into an envelope and we're going to send it off. So that's the best way to think about where you send them from, is from an envelope. The envelope name is for your reference only. Nobody sees it. A lot of times I'll just give it a name of the property address, kind of whatever works best for you. You see all of your files here. Now maybe I didn't move them around real well before, or I didn't give them a number. I can actually drag them into different places just by putting my cursor over it, holding it down, and dragging it to where I want it to be. Okay? So that's kind of, people like to move things around. Now I need to know who I'm going to actually send these files to. I'm going to come to Add Recipient, and I prefer to do pre-tagged roles. Again, if you have not completed your details page, you will not have any pre-tagged roles to complete. So then you would maybe need to go to room participants or complete it all by email address. I had a admin ask me one time, how can I get the emails for my Rainmaker, because they don't like to see anything. This is a way you can do that. So probably not the best way to go about things, although you can. So I'm going to hit pre-tagged roles. Now I'm going to come and look for my buyer. Actually, I think this was a listing. Let's see if I have this. Yeah, we'll go my Mickey Mouse. And then I can come down to the buyer broker and I can add, oh, let's add somebody, not Mickey Mouse. We're going to add Kathy. Now I can go into the listing agent. I can do basically everything. If I had the seller's names, I could come in here and do this also. So you click on whoever it is, come to the drop-down box and find their name. And hit Add Selected. And you'll see that it's now bringing the people in that needs to sign. Now maybe somebody is on here and you want to send it to a closing attorney. You can always come in here and just is a needs to view. So that's how you can change things if you're wanting to add in the lender or the closing attorney or whoever it might be. They can just receive a copy or they can just review it. Okay. You'll also notice here, there's a number 1 and a number 1. Now, if there were 2 buyers, it would be number 1, number 2. The broker is typically always going to be number 1 also. You have the option to sign prior to your clients or after. And we'll see how we're going to go about doing that also. So I'm actually going to change this. So it's that easy to change the email. Okay. Down here where it says message to recipients, I can just say, please review and sign, or you can just give it the name. And then their message, okay? Just so you know. Now, I have noticed that none of these actually come across with any type of signature, so you may want to actually sign it your name. Just another thing that I have learned. Okay, so we have brought in all of our GAR forms. What if I need a form that I know has been templated? And what does that mean? A template is where we have built it with all of the check marks done, because anytime a form leaves a room and comes into an envelope, you can look at it here. We'll just look at this form. I no longer can fill anything out. So the minute a form leaves a room and comes into an envelope, it's no longer fillable. So that's where templates come into play, okay? So I can come here and click use a template. For you to see the templates that are available to you, you'll come up underneath shared with me. Brainly, maybe. Okay. And you'll see sometimes other people put their forms in, mix them in with our forms. Here's one right here. You're always looking for the Sugarloaf service. You can also search for a form, okay? So maybe I need a wire fraud, and I'm gonna include a seller's property disclosure right here. So I'm going to add these into my documents that I'm going to send over for signatures. And once it adds the templates, here we go. And you can see the wording in this one says TMPL. That means it's a template. Okay. If I were not ready to send this right at this minute, I could actually hit save and close, and it'll keep this room right in this status. But for this, we're going to go ahead and hit next. Now, if you've ever used RDocs, to me, this looks a little bit like RDocs, maybe with a twist. Kind of, and why I'm saying that is it kind of looks like it from over here. Okay. Now, up in the top right here on the left, that's the person that you're on. And if I'm looking to add a text box, this would be a text box that I would need to add. So because that's for me, the agent. So if you ever put something in and realize it's the wrong person, all you have to do is come down here to delete. You can delete that box. So I'm going to click down to Mickey Mouse, and now I'm going to want text from him. Don't know why you ever want that right here, but I can add in a text box. Okay, so Mickey Mouse could then add text right there. I can then come up here and say, oh no, that's not a required that Mickey Mouse fills that out. And so I can just uncheck required. If I had 2 people on this, I can always come down to collaborate, and both buyers or both sellers could collaborate on this, and anybody could fill it out. So that makes it kind of nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this text box, and we're going to go down, and once we hit bottom here, we can see Here's the first initial that is required by Mickey Mouse. Nothing else is due there. We're going to keep scrolling down. I probably put too many documents in here because I'm not sure how that looks on your end. It might be making you sick, sorry. Again, now you can see this is not fillable at this moment. If there were for some reason I went, oh my goodness, I missed adding an exhibit, I could come up to me and drag in a checkbox right here. And then I could come and put a text box over here so that I could actually add the information. Now I can add this information in here if I want to, just by typing it here. Okay, my biggest suggestion though is to click out of it so that it keeps it permanently. If you don't click out of the box, it does not keep it and you'll have to complete it again. Okay, now we can come down here to the signature page. We can see that it's asking for Mickey Mouse's signature and the date. It did not put in his name. So I like to, so I don't have to type the name, you can just add in full name. If you actually have their address, it would have put it in there. I didn't have his, oh, sorry, I'm over on the wrong side. I set everything up kind of funky in here, so that's why it's showing a little funky. All of his information is over here, because I said he was, I put it in as a buyer over here, but he's actually a seller, but you get the gist. This is my signature here. It completed everything that it pulled over from the details page. Now, the form I want to show you, and see, we didn't complete anything on this. If you forget to complete a form, you can do it from here. You're just doing it via text boxes. So it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit slower of a world, okay? The one that I want to show you is that's a lead-based paint, and that was for a buyer. I have there are templates built in there for lead-based paint for buyer and for seller. Sorry, I'm just trying to get through this lead-based paint exhibit. Come on. I had to have picked the longest brochure known to man to show you guys. Okay, so now I am on the property disclosure. Uh-oh, it doesn't look like it's fillable. It's not fillable to me as the agent. It's only fillable. It's actually not even going to be fillable to Mickey Mouse. This was a bad example because it's a buyer. This form is actually set up for a seller. So I would have had to have had a seller assigned to this room also. Dang it. Sometimes best laid plans go astray. Okay, so everything is completed. I can now just come down here and click send. And you can see it's up here sending. You do get a really fast box if you want to go, it's going to ask you if you want to go out and sign it. You are not fast enough to do that, but it will bring this envelope into, or this tile into your envelope, and it'll say needs my signature. So you can click on that and hit sign, and it's going to take me out so that I can sign my documents. I can hit start, sign, and finish. And now it's sending it over to the client. One thing that I do want to show you is, let's see if we can get it to come in here. And here it is. This is pretty much how it's going to look for clients. It's asking, it's telling them exactly what's attached to for signatures, and they can just come into it from right here. And so then they'll click basically giving permission, and then they'll go through and sign. Okay. And so now we can go back to documents. I didn't get that signed. want to get it signed so that we can actually see how it comes back in. Bring it back over, please. Okay. I'm still waiting on others. Let's go ahead and resend that. Now, if you ever are having trouble and the email isn't getting to them, you may need to correct their email. You can actually hit this correct and go in and correct whoever's email is incorrect, and it'll take you to this box. And so you can actually correct their email right here and then resend it. Let's see if, there we go. Love it when a plan is just together. Okay, it's mad at me. All right, so let's go and fix. Anyway, so you can actually go and fix the envelopes. For this, I am going to come back to my dashboard, to my rooms. I'm going to go into another one and show you what it looks like when they come back in signed. I have a lot of Mickey Mouses out here. Wow. And Donald Ducks. It's just crazy. Go into documents. So when it comes back in signed, you will have this PDF of a certificate that they signed, and then you'll also have an actual signed form. So earlier when we were saying you're going to always use the same form over and over, that's basically what you're going to do, and then you'll have a signed form. So you always want to make sure you pick up on the signed form when you're sending them out. Okay, so now I can come back to my command, and we've completed this, we've gotten it under contract, and we are so excited, and we now can actually bring the forms in so that we can become compliant within opportunities. And to do that, I'm going to come to the file that I need to grab, or come to attach multiple files. I'm going to click DocuSign, and I'm going to go out searching for the files that I need and bring them in. And then I can hit attach. And I'm going to submit to the Market Center. Okay. So that is basic of DocuSign. What questions does anybody have?
I didn't know that you could do that all at once.
Oh.
The multiple? So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
I'm doing it one at a time.
Well, and that's what a lot of people think, because it's not conducive to, you know, it's not overly conducive to telling you, hey, you can grab multiple things. So I'm glad that that was helpful. Yeah, the biggest thing to me is people never know where to go and sign. You know, like an agent, they're always like, I don't understand how I can go out there and sign. Well, anytime this is saying, waiting for your signature, forgot what it actually says, and going out there and being able to sign it, I think I've had that question numerous times. So.
Well, that and how to move the documents around, because you can't move them around until you get into the envelope.
Yeah.
So that was a long learning curve for me.
Yeah. That, I think that's it is for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't really care how they go over. I just like everything to be in order when it goes over to somebody. So, you know, that. Now, you can also do message level within a room. Like you can actually send messages to people that are connected to a room. I have not found a need for this. The other thing is when you're over in your envelope, if you decide, oh, we're going to get rid of this one, you can actually come up here to actions, and you can leave a room, you can close a room, you can add existing envelopes. Many people do not have these rights, so I probably wouldn't try it. The minute that you send it out for any type of signature, though, it makes it that you cannot delete the actual envelope. Okay. It's pretty much live, and you'll have to close out the envelope before you can do anything. So I would actually have to close this room, give it a reason, and then submit. Before it goes out for signature, you can delete all of these rooms basically at the same action. It gives you the delete opportunity. So again, in these people, this is something that's really confusing to people that I have found also. It's not going to show you everybody that has signing. So just because you added them in the details, they are not coming into the people. You physically would have to invite people into the room for them to be there. Okay. I have just found that that becomes so much more cumbersome than just doing something using participants within the room that you have assigned. I feel like it gives you a little bit better control, and you know exactly who you're adding into something. Now you do have an inbox within DocuSign, which is actually really interesting because what they have found is people like to email maybe offers, and people don't want to get it into their email, download it, upload it, all of that. You can actually receive things within your inbox here in DocuSign. Now you can see I've customized my name, which is kathy.bullock@mail.docusign.net. And how you go about that is up over here underneath the name. You can manage the profile. And come on, you can do it. Good job. Okay. I always have to remember where everything is in here. Oh, where is that darn thing? Sorry. I always forget when I'm over here which one is which. It's not in this one. You can come over into this one in your profile, change out your signatures. You can edit it, delete them. Let me go back into, come back in here, and we're going to go to preferences. Now this is where you can kind of find everything. You can put a logo, you can come and put your picture in here, and you can edit all of this information. So your contact information, you can go in and update it. How you get notified from DocuSign, if you want to get, like it used to be every time I did something in DocuSign, my watch would vibrate, and that made me nuts. So I turned that off. Here's the inbox details. So on this inbox, you can come up here. Yours may actually say something different, but you can then change it, like if you want it just to be your name. So you could give this email address out, and when somebody emails an offer, it would come directly into your DocuSign inbox. You can also do faxes, but I don't really push that. And then this integrations right here is where you will add your NERDS number if you need to go out and add your NERDS number. Okay, if you're a member of multiple associations, you can add in more. And then if you have we're going to review this more in the DocuSign 201. If you choose to go and get brave and start setting up your own templates, you'll be up underneath your name and you will go to switch to e-signatures. And that's where you will, if it ever decides to go, can go and build your own templates. And a lot of people, especially teams maybe, will want to go out and have their own templates. So maybe you have a form that only your team builds. You can come out and create different templates. And you'll just add them in here. And so that will be, and then you can share them with people on your team, which is nice. Okay, any other questions? We're done a few minutes early.
That was great.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you for joining DocuSign 101 today. Sorry, it was a little bumpy start.
I think it was great.
Well, thank you guys. Go out and make it an amazing day.
Thank you. Bye, Kathy.